Football is a team sport, but a lot of clubs actually get a little too reliant on one player to get results. Yes, even some of the biggest clubs in the world are this way, and we're here to talk about them. In this video, we'll be looking at one player your favourite club cannot do without. We'll start with Arsenal. It's pretty obvious that they cannot do without Gabriel right now. He is an absolute monster in defence and is one of the reasons Arsenal have kept as many clean sheets as they have this season. Yes, they have enough defensive depth in Mosquera and Hincapié, but none of them can do what Gabriel does. It's not just that, he's also a huge attacking threat. He's been directly involved in 5 non-penalty goals this season. That's more than Saka has managed. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Gabriel is one of the biggest reasons Arsenal are such a threat from set pieces. Without him, they'd look rather ordinary. So you see how important the Brazilian is. Take him out and Arsenal will suffer both in the defence and going forward. And he's also a leader, so when the team needs a lift, he's often very important. The Gunners just cannot do without him. The next one is also obvious. Manchester City cannot do without Erling Haaland. Take his goals out and City would be in the bottom half of the Premier League and the Champions League tables. You see, Haaland has been directly involved in a little over 63% of all the goals Manchester City have scored across the league and the Champions League this season. When he doesn't score, City are very likely to lose the game, just like we saw against Spurs and Aston Villa. So it's almost like Manchester City's form this season is fully dependent on Erling Haaland's form. They just cannot do without him, and they'll be hoping he stays fit throughout the season. There are a couple more Premier League teams in this video. Can you guess which ones we're talking about and what players they can't do without? Take a shot in the comments and we'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so that you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, let's talk about Real Madrid. They're a little too dependent on Kylian Mbappe this season. Forget what social media is saying, this is exactly what the numbers tell us. Mbappe has been directly involved in 59% of all the goals Real Madrid have scored this season. Now that is exactly what you call over-dependence. In contrast, Vinny has only been directly involved in 26% of all Real Madrid's goals this season. So you can see how much the team relies on Mbappe, and when he doesn't score or generally just has a bad game, Madrid tend to lose, just like we saw against Liverpool. Bayern Munich, meanwhile, cannot do without Harry Kane. The Englishman has been in incredible form this season, and even as good and flawless as Bayern have been, he is the one player they just cannot do without for an extended period of time. This man was directly involved in 25 goals in his first 16 games of the season and is on course to break every goal-scoring record in Germany. Now, Bayern have been working like a well-oiled machine this season, and one could say it's not just because of one player, but the massive drop in quality they would experience if they were without Kane for a long time is why we say they just cannot do without him. Also, we all know that the England captain brings more than just goals to a team. He drops deep, helps to generate football, distribute the ball, create chances, and sometimes even helps out the defence. He is really a very valuable footballer to have on your team. And you can say the same for Victor Osimhen. Right now, Galatasaray just cannot do without him. His shot power, his ability in the air, his acrobatics, his relentless press, his insane passion and drive, all these make him a very invaluable player, both for club and country. He always gives his all each time he plays, and if Gala didn't sign him, we're pretty sure they wouldn't be where they are right now. He's currently the top scorer in the UEFA Champions League and has scored 75% of all the goals Galatasaray have managed in the competition this season. That tells you everything. The Turkish Giants are sitting in the top 10 of the Champions League table right now because of Osimhen. After all, the only UCL game he couldn't play this season, Gala lost 5-1. But since he returned from injury, they have won all their games, including the big one against Liverpool. They would really hate to lose him. Now, remember we said that there are other Premier League clubs on this list. Well, one of them is Bournemouth. And it's not hard to guess that they cannot do without Antoine Semenyo right now. He has easily been Bournemouth's best player and even one of the best players in the league this season. He presses relentlessly, creates chances, and scores goals out of nothing. He has been directly involved in 53% of the goals Bournemouth have scored in the league this season. And to show you how much they rely on the Ghanaian, each time he has failed to score or assist this season, Bournemouth have failed to win. It happened against Manchester City, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, and Brentford in the Cup. It appears that the Cherries need a firing Semenyo to win games. Meanwhile, it appears Manchester United cannot do without their new goalkeeper Sene Lammens right now. He has been a real breath of fresh air for the Red Devils since he came in. So far, he hasn't made any calamitous errors. He's been commanding his box well, claiming crosses and making some really exceptional saves. The United fans are really happy with the Belgian shot stopper, and many are crediting United's turnaround to his presence between the sticks. We'd also like to throw Como in here. They are having a truly phenomenal season right now, sitting just 5 points off the top of the table after 10 games. But it's becoming more and more obvious that they cannot do without their wonder kid, Nico Paz. The kid has been directly involved in about 67% of all the goals Como have scored in the league this season. He is really making things happen from anywhere on the pitch, and they just cannot do without him. But the sad part is that with how he's going, many people fear that Real Madrid might be forced to activate their buyback clause on the player next summer, which would be a huge loss for Como. Well, we'll see what happens at the end of the season, but for now, they are really enjoying their Argentine prince. Now, let's also talk about West Ham. It's so obvious that these guys just cannot do without Jarrod Bowen right now. I mean, with him, they've been struggling. Imagine where they'd be without him. The Englishman has been directly involved in over 40% of all the goals West Ham have scored. Their hopes of surviving relegation this season are hugely dependent on Bowen. If West Ham do survive and then lose Bowen in the summer, the Hammers next season could end up being like Wolves this season after they lost Cunha. Anyway, to wrap up this video, let's talk about Spurs. Right now, they just cannot do without Mickey van der Ven. He is an amazing defender who's really strong and great in the air, but on top of that, he has been heavily contributing to goals this season. This guy has scored 6 goals this season. For context, that's more than Isak, João Pedro, Lewandowski, Cunha, Vini, Sesko, and Saka have scored across all competitions this season. Just in case you forgot, this is a central defender we're talking about here. Absolutely insane. If Spurs lose him, they lose their best defender and their top scorer. Yeah, you heard that right. Mickey van der Ven is Tottenham's top scorer this season. So it's definitely safe to say that they cannot do without him. Now, if your favourite club wasn't mentioned in this video, it probably means that they're not too reliant on just one player. But if you think that we're wrong about that, go ahead and tell us one player your favourite club cannot do without this season. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so that you never miss out on new content. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.